All right, it is time to turn up the difficulty knob on our journey to becoming fluent in Polish. We've already learned to count, more or less. We've learned to pronounce. We've learned some basic vocabulary like kurczak, sałatka, pies, ryba, pająk. But it is time to venture into the deep, dark depths of Polish grammar. Unfortunately, we have to start pretty basic. First up, Polish grammar, nouns, gender, how to guess it. Gotta start somewhere. All right, here we go.
To guess the gender, firstly we have to know what genders we have in Polish language. For that, I've prepared this.
To simply know if a word is masculine, feminine, or neuter, you need a giant chart. You gotta love it. Okay, all right, here we go.
It's divided into two branches, singular genders and plural genders.
Okay.
So in singular branch we have three genders. Męski, masculine, żeński, feminine, and nijaki, neuter. In plural, we have two genders, or two groups. Męsko-osobowe, masculine personal, and niemęsko-osobowe, not masculine personal. It's better to divide the first gender into three subgroups, because depending on the subgroup, the noun has different endings in different cases. So the first gender, męski, we may divide into personal, not personal, animate, and not animate subgroups.
Okay, I think I actually did learn previously that masculine nouns in Polish typically end in a consonant, right? Chłopiec, pies, dom, right? All those end in a consonant. Also interesting that like masculine is divided up into all these three different columns, but then feminine, żeński, and neuterniaki are not. Okay, but why do you need that distinction? I don't understand. Let's keep going.
The names of these groups are quite self-explanatory. In the first group, we put all the masculine nouns that are a person, are describing a person, like here, chłopiec, boy, or all the professions like teacher, writer, worker, farmer, all the...
Okay, so if it's a human or a human related thing, then it's personal, masculine. Okay, but I guess apparently feminine doesn't have this for some reason.
Names of professions are masculine personal. Now the second group, not personal animate, is group for the nouns that are masculine and animate, so alive, all the animals. Like...
Okay, what about like a plant? Is a plant not personal animate? Because it is alive and it's not a human.
Here in the example, pies, dog is in this subgroup. And the last group, not animate, is for...
Like, how do you say plant? Zakład.
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 All the nouns that are masculine and not animate. So for example, dom, house. Okay? So now...
Plant is roślina.
Roślina.
Roślina. Roślina. Wow. See, this is why it's better to do these things on stream, because it'll get it wrong and then y'all can tell me what's right.
So now you know all the genders in Polish language. So finally we can answer the question, how to guess the gender.
Okay.
One important
Let's go.
thing, we will guess the gender in nominative case. It's very important because when you have a noun in different cases, then these nouns have different endings in different cases.
Oh! Here we go. Here we go. Okay. All right. So a noun starts in the nominative case. Is that the case? Do Polish nouns start in the nominative case? Okay. Yes. All right, so Polish dictionaries, textbooks, and grammar tables always list nouns in the nominative singular as the base form. Okay, all right, that's good to know. So, dom, kobieta, miasto, which, okay, masculine, feminine, neuter, I'm pretty sure, right? I'm pretty sure. All right.
And we are going to guess the gender based on the ending of the noun. So
Okay.
if you want to guess the gender, make sure that the noun is in nominative. All the nouns that are in the dictionary are in nominative case. Okay? So let's look on the tips for masculine. Usually when a noun ends with a consonant, it's masculine. Usually. Then, when a noun ends with owca or ista, it's also masculine. Here you have
Okay.
examples. Kierowca, driver, and programista, programmer. Also,
Kierowca. Kierowca. Driver, as in like you drive a car. So how would you say professional driver? Oh, of course, professional is not just professional. Okay, so kierowca zawodowy.
So there are exceptions like tata, dad, or mężczyzna, men.
Yeah, of course, the word for man, mężczyzna, ends in an A, but it's masculine, of course.
They don't have consonant on the end, but they are also masculine. The second gender, feminine. Usually when a noun ends with a letter, then it's feminine. Also when the noun ends with sh, especially when it describes an idea, then it's feminine. So here we have two examples. Miłość, love, and
Miłość.
radość, happiness.
Wait, so miłość means love? Okay, that's a very important word to know. Okay, so I have my notepad here to write new vocabulary down. Page 1 was numbers. Page 2 was animals and food. Okay, ptak, mysz, pająk, koń, mleko, wodę. Great, I just dropped my laptop on the ground. That's great, okay. Zupa, sok, truskawka. Wow, truskawka, that's a word that took me like 40 tries. All right, let's start a new page here. We're turning a new page. If you don't know what that means, it means you're starting anew. Miłość, love, noun, feminine. Okay, right. I know that's backwards for you guys, but that's okay.
And the third gender, neuter. When a noun ends with o, e, I, it usually is neuter. Also when it ends with the origin from Latin words, like museum, it also is a neuter gender. Okay? And here, when you have a noun which ends with ch, ny, sh, j, it usually is masculine or feminine. Okay?
Come on, man. Okay.
But there is no rule. You just have to guess or check in the dictionary.
There's no rule. You just have to figure it out. Okay, that's fair. All right. Come on. Let's
And apart from that, there is a lot of exceptions. Unfortunately, it's just impossible in Polish language to know the gender or to guess the gender with 100% certainty.
Okay, all right. It's the best we're gonna get. All right, it'll cover most of it, but probably not all of it. All right, let's find exercises here. Nouns, grammar, gender. All right. Can we get this right? Let's see. Dom. It ends in a consonant. That means it's masculine. All right, let's go. Let's go. All right, come on.
Okno.
Okno. All right, what does this mean? What is okno? Window. It ends in an O. It ends in an O, so it is neuter. Let's go.
Krzesło.
Krzesło. Yeah, I have no clue what that means. Oh, I can hover over it and it tells me. Perfect. A chair. All right, that's definitely neuter because it ends in an O. All right, we got it. Krzesło. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Dang it. All right, Polish grammar. I'm not scared anymore. We're learning the rules. They're slowly being demystified here.
Walizka.
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 Walizka means a suitcase. Okay, that's a little bit obscure. So Z there is like more of an S sound. And that is going to be feminine. All right. So at least the rule is generally that when a word ends in an A, it's feminine, okay? Which coming from Spanish and Portuguese, that does make this a lot easier. I'm not gonna lie. We're 4 of 10 right now. Biurko.
Biurko.
A desk. Okay, all right, a desk. My brain, when it ends in an O, because of the Spanish and Portuguese that I know, I want it to be masculine. Sometimes it can be masculine, right? But I believe this is neuter. It is. Would this be like a school desk, or does it not matter? Table is stool. Is that masculine? Is stool masculine? Stool is for dining. Yes, it's masculine. All right, moving on.
Ogród.
Ogród. Okay, so the D at the end is a T sound. Means a garden. Beautiful. I would love to have a garden one day, but I live in an apartment. Means garden, and that's masculine because it ends in a consonant. All right, got it.
Skała.
Skała. I'm gonna venture to guess what this means. Skała. Does it mean like skates? A rock. Oof. Way off. That's okay. And that's going to be feminine because it ends in an A. Okay. You know, what I want to know is how does this get decided? I mean, it's not decided. It just evolves over time. But like what makes rock feminine? But then like table, which is sto, is masculine. So skawa is a big rock. Not just a rock. It's a big rock. Kamien just means rock. Wow, I guess why do we have words for rock and big rock?
Ołówek.
Ołówek. Oh, I feel like I've heard this word before. A pencil. I like how we're like just learning like office words right now. And that's going to be masculine because it ends in a K. Got it. All right. So it seems like the general rules, like more or less always apply. Like, I mean, I guess there's exceptions, but I mean, I don't know. I've only answered 8 words here. Okay. All right. We're about to get 10 out of 10.
Stół.
Did we already do this? No, we learned this later. It means table,
Stół.
but it's masculine. Okay, yeah, we already did that one. Okay. All right, 100%. Let's go. In this section, you can practice determining the correct gender of nouns. Honestly, I don't know if this is too brash here. Let's just jump to the final one. Is it any more difficult?
Spotkanie.
Spotkanie. I think because it ends in an E, it's neuter, right? Yes. In a lot of other languages, for example, like the noun version of the word and then like the verb version of the word are basically the same. It's just the ending changes, right? So like to meet in Spanish is reunirse, but the noun meeting is reunión. So is that the same in Polish more or less? So to meet would be spotkać. Okay, so it is kind of the same in that way.
Zmiana.
Zmiana, change like your life, like change in your life. Yeah. Okay. Feminine, right?
Książka.
Książka. I know this word. It means book. Yes. All right. It does mean book, and that's feminine. This is definitely an example of a word where if someone is like talking to me about how crazy Polish looks or the pronunciation, I would show them this word and I would be like, "How do you think this is pronounced?" Książka, right?
Książka.
Książka.
Ognisko.
Ognisko. I have no clue what that means. Fire. That's actually a good one to know. Ognisko. See, this is what makes Polish so much more difficult than like basically all of the Romance languages, is because in basically all the Romance languages, like the word for fire is like at least somewhat similar to the word fire in English. Fire is ogien. Ogien. Okay, so it'd be more like campfire. Oh, okay, here we go. And this is masculine because it ends in an N with an accent, right?
Ognisko.
That is neuter. That's crazy. So fire is masculine, but campfire, ognisko, is neuter. Definitely one thing I've learned as I've learned more languages, it's better to just not question weird rules because you'll fall down a rabbit hole that's harder to get out of than it is to fall into.
Mydło.
Mydło. All right, soap. Okay, I guess that's good to know. That's a good word to know. So mydło is neuter because it ends in an O.
Kot.
Cat. Cat. It's such a breath of fresh air every time there's a word that I actually know. And this is masculine because it ends in a T. All right, 100%. Okay, here we go. Choose gender, irregular nouns. All right, we're turning it up a notch. Let's make it more difficult.
Kolega.
Kolega. I don't think it's feminine. This is the irregular section, so I'm going to say masculine. Okay, it is masculine. Kolega also means buddy. Koleżanka is a female friend. So what about just the word friend? Przyjaciel. Oh my goodness. This is why Polish is ridiculous. The word for friend is przyjaciel.
Przyjaciel.
Oh, przyjaciel. Przyjaciel is more like best friend. Wait, are you kidding me? The male version, the masculine is przyjaciel and the feminine is przyjaciółka. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Okay, all right. This is more like best friend. And this is more like friend or homie. Colleague. It also means your homie. Can you guys remind me what feminine kolega is? Oh my god. Koleżanka. All right, koleżanka. Oh, see, it's hard because like it's like that. It totally changes. Kolega, koleżanka.
Dłoń.
Dłoń. Dłoń means hand. Masculine because it ends in an N. Feminine. That's right. We're doing irregulars.
Kiwi.
Kiwi. Does this mean kiwi? Yeah, it does. Okay. All right. That was easy. Ends in an I. Does that make it neuter? Yes, because I think that's what O, E, or Y endings are neuter.
Forum.
Forum, masculine. Masculine. Neuter. Okay.
Muzeum.
Oh, but he said that words that end in UM are typically neuter, correct? Yes. Okay, so this is neuter.
Imię.
Imię. But also nazva means name. Okay, there's always a million words.
Imię.
Okay, so what's the correct pronunciation? Because this is saying imię and this one is
Imię.
imię. Both are correct. Choose one. I'm just gonna say imię. I'm just gonna say imię. And I'm gonna guess that it is neuter. Okay. So then how do you say, what is your name? What is your name? Jak masz na imię? Jak masz na imię? So this means, what name do you have? Interesting. In Polish, you have a name. You aren't a name like in other languages. Interesting. Yeah, directly translates to how have you on name. So then you'd say moje imię, like my name. Oh, nazywam się Józef. Mam na imię. Are you guys saying mam na imię more, or are you saying nazywam się? Both are correct. You just say jestem Józef. Jestem Józef. Okay, let's go back.
Kość.
Kość. Ooh. When it ends in an S, this is neuter. I want to say this is neuter. I'm not going to look at the answer. I think it means neuter. Feminine. Oh, okay.
Sędzia.
Sędzia means judge. All these words are so obscure. Okay, sędzia. Masculine, because isn't that's personal. That's a personal animate noun. Yes, all right. So any
Plemię.
plemię, or plemię, tribe, masculine, neuter.
Gospodyni.
Gospodyni, hostess, masculine. Feminine, I knew that. Hostess. All right, we got, wow, we got a 50%, okay. I think at this point, we basically more or less know how to tell masculine from feminine from neuter. So let's learn about adjectives. So the ending of an adjective in Polish must agree with gender, number, and case of the noun it describes. This makes adjectives a difficult aspect of the Polish language. Yeah, of course it does. You can see examples of all these three agreements below. Okay, so it ends in an A for feminine, ends in an E for neuter, and the Y for masculine. It is a red flower. To jest czerwony kwiatek. To jest czerwona lampa. To jest czerwone jabłko. How do you even begin to learn this? How do you even begin to learn this? Okay, so number agreement. So to jest czerwony kwiatek. To są czerwone kwiatki. Okay, you know what? Maybe actually what I need to do first is learn the plurals of feminine, masculine, and neuter nouns. Plural endings for Polish nouns. This is called the nominative case. But does the ending change for plural with the other cases? So nouns, declension. What? So hold on. There's like 7 ways to say plural book. You guys, this is ridiculous. This is unbelievable. But then the adjective also has to change. So does the adjective change equally with the noun ending? All right, this is gonna be quite the slog. We're gonna have to figure out the best way to go about this. Because it's like, first I need to wrap my head around how all this works in the first place before I can begin to like understand it individually, I guess. 7 Polish cases, easy explanation. I don't know if it will be.
So first tip, if you're not sure of a word, type the word and type odmiana przez przypadki in Google. You will find a table with all these conjugated words.
So what is odmiana przez przypadki? Is that like the declensions? Odmiana przez przypadki in English means declension or case inflection, referring to how nouns, pronouns, and adjectives change form to show their grammatical role in a sentence, with Polish having 7 cases: nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, instrumental, locative, vocative. While English primarily uses word order and prepositions plus the S for possession. True. Okay, noun declension, summary of endings. The chart below display all case endings for nouns. When multiple options are available, refer to the additional tips to determine which ending to use. Click on any ending to navigate to its corresponding article. What even is this? Oh boy. Oh boy.
So first is mianownik, nominative. I think it's the easiest one. It's just the subject of the sentence. It just answers the question who and what. Kto, co.
Okay. All right. So actually, this feels a little better. It's the best idea to learn questions for the declinations. Okay. All right. So basically, kto means who, co means what. So this means who is that?
Next one, dopełniacz, genitive. You call it possessive case. For example, you can say, this is my mother's mother. To jest mama mojej mamy. So, question for this case is kogo, czego. Imagine. To jest Paweł. Paweł, mianownik. On ma swój samochód. And now the question, kogo jest samochód? Samochód jest Pawła. Pawła.
I'm trying my best here. It's not as simple as make the noun and adjective agree because it's also about the context of the sentence. All the Polish declinations explained. Let's try to. There's got to be a really good video on this. Have you never studied a language that has declinations? No, I've never studied a language that has declinations. You have to understand, this is quite literally the first time I'm being exposed to this sort of grammar concept. So we're trying.
So the first basic case is the nominative case.
Okay.
Nominative case or
All right, that's what we've been learning. All right, we got it. Nominative. Nominative. We got it
in
down.
Polish, mianownik.
That's what nouns
Mianownik.
start as.
And here is an example. Dobry kot. Dobry
Okay,
kot
here we go. This is what we need. The adjective with the noun. Finally. Okay, here we go.
means a good cat.
Dobry kot.
So this is the basic form. And then we have the genitive case, or in Polish, dopełniacz. And here is how the good cat would look like in this case.
Dobrego kota.
Dobrego kota.
It completely changes.
And then we have the dative case, in Polish, celownik. And the good cat, in this case, would look as
Dobremu kotu.
dobremu kotu. Accusative case would
Okay, so same as genitive. Dobrego
be the
kota.
next. Another case is the instrumental case, or in Polish, narzędnik. Narzędnik.
Narzędnik.
And the good cat in the
Dobrym kotem.
instrumental case
Dobrym kotem. Dobrym.
would be dobrym kotem. Then we have the locative case, miejscownik, and the good cat in the locative case would be dobrym kocie.
Dobrym kocie.
Vocative case,
There's literally 7 of them. They just keep going. Okay, so dobre kocie. If there's one thing I've learned from learning other languages, like more complicated things like this, honestly, the only way to really learn that is to you kind of got to memorize it at first and then just expose yourself to it and hear it.
and the good cat in this case would be dobry kocie.
Dobre kocie.
Dobry kocie. So there are sometimes repetitions of the endings of the word. So very often we just need to read the whole sentence and from the context understand what is the case.
No worries. I'm not discouraged, okay? I have the power of the Polish winged hussars behind me and the power of my ancestors, my Polish ancestors who ventured to the United States from Poland, carrying me to the finish line, carrying me to fluency. The thing that gets me over and over again is just that like the same word in the different cases, it can just change the whole word.
And then how would you know what kind of ending to put and what kind of alternation will happen? Well, it depends on many factors. If it's a noun or an adjective, there are different endings for that. It depends what kind of gender the word is. It also depends on the number. We have different endings for them.
It just puts into perspective how easy English is. English is so easy. I get that like different like pronunciation I guess can be difficult, but like this is a whole other level.
For example, if this is a person, then there is a different ending, and if this is an object.
Okay, but are all of you getting this right all the time? Like when you speak everyday speech, is it second nature to you, or is it something sometimes you have to stop and kind of think about? Yeah? Okay, I guess this just is easy for you guys. All right, let's keep going. We got this.
So the thing is to understand what kind of cases we have in Polish and what kind of functions they serve.
Okay, I'm looking at her playlist here for each case. Look how long each of these videos are. Nominative is 11 minutes, because I guess that's the most simple one. 34 minutes, 40 minutes, 52 minutes, 43 minutes, basically 48 minutes, 32 minutes. Unbelievable. Polish declination table for dom. All right, perfect. Dom, domu, domowi, dom, domem, domu, dom. Domy, domów, domom, domy, domami, domach, książce. Jesus, that's a crazy word to pronounce. It's crazy because it's like, okay, you can learn all the cases, but then each case gets more complicated. My brain is just like looking for rules to like tie all of this together. Okay, so we've got masculine, feminine, which the dative case is for the indirect object. Always ends in ovi. Domowi, ogniowi. Oh boy. Oh boy. Mężczyzna, mężczyzny, mężczyznie. These are both masculine nouns, but it isn't even the same. I don't even know how to go about learning this correctly. There's so many exceptions and things depend on different things. Just get a general idea of what the functions of each cases are. Don't bother with learning all the endings for all cases now. Yeah, I agree. I think that's too much of a rabbit hole. The plan for now is to just focus on learning as many of the nominative case nouns and adjectives. And then we're gonna start picking up verbs, just present tense verbs, just basic verbs, infinitives, present tense. And that's what we'll do.